Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time on Target Morning Show. Welcome back to sunny Florida. Specifically, I said Clearwater Beach yesterday, but specifically, we're in a place called Treasure Island. So if you think of where Clearwater is off the coast, arguably off the coast of Tampa, Clearwater, and then you have Treasure Island, Reddington Beach. There's a few others kind of in between. Then you have St. Petersburg Beach down south. So anyhow, we're at the Treasure Island area. So pretty nice. Got the girls out and onto the beach yesterday. So again, the beach is not really my thing, but it is for them. And I was able to take my laptop and work from under an umbrella. And the temperature is about 75 degrees down here. So all in all, a huge win. So for today's show, we're going to talk about Chinese technology. Thank you to one of you for reaching out this morning and kind of showing me the Alibaba highlight. Excuse me. But again, Alibaba was supposed to spin off Ant Financial, if you will, several months ago. That was blocked by the Chinese government. And then this morning, the headline, again, half a day off from over there, so daytime over there, is that their app, one of their apps or the app, I don't know, got pulled over there and got blocked by the president. And the president yesterday, Xi Jinping, if I'm saying that right, is saying this is just the beginning of the crackdown on tech. So it immediately begs the question for you is Chinese technology as a whole, not just Alibaba, but all of the names that we generally talk about, is it time to bail and come back later when the crackdown is over, or is now a buying opportunity because they've all been hit, and they've all been hit pretty hard since the Ant Financial debacle from several months ago. So we're going to pull some charts. We're going to take a look at that. The answer I'm going to give you is it kind of depends on your investable thesis. I'm a long-term investor. My clients are long-term investors, and I honestly don't care. I don't need all of the entire portfolio to go up tomorrow. I don't need it to go up in the next month or the next 3 months. I need it to go up over time. And I think that this will turn out to be, I don't think technology in China is dead as far as long-term thesis. I think they're probably still the leader out there, arguably. I know maybe the US is the leader, maybe we're not. I don't know. But I'm saying I want my money behind Chinese technology over the long term, and we're talking decades, right? So that's been a great play so far. I think it'll continue to be a great play. We shall see, but we'll talk through some individual names. We'll also talk through the ETF that I use for that. We also talk about how is it that you can buy a stock on the U.S. stock exchange that's actually a foreign company. And the answer is an American Depository Receipt, which is an ADR, which I'll explain to you once we get to the question of the day. So that's what our show is about this morning. If you're catching us on replay, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you know when these go live every morning. Also, if you want to join us live, it's $25 a month. Come on into the room. What you don't see is a chat window as well as a Q&A window where everybody can propose their questions to me, and I answer those throughout the show. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, everyone. Here's today's lineup card for today, Tuesday, March 16th, almost St. Patrick's Day. All right. Welcome to, let's see, make sure you have your chat window set up. Make sure you have your Q&A window set up appropriately. Use the call sign, please. Also, standard disclaimer applies. This is a financial education presentation, so you have to do your own due diligence before acting upon anything you hear this morning. Full disclaimer information is available at ototnow.com. All right, here's our standard flow for the day. Before we talk about that, over in the chat window, for those of you that just joined, I have the longs and the shorts of the day. The two longs that I like are Futu Holdings and BLDR, which is Velodyne LiDAR. Both those are pretty good. The FLGT and the IPA, those are both medical names. They only have about 20,000 shares of pre-market volume, so they're pretty high risk. I like their stories. They just don't have the volume that we normally need to be able to day trade. On the short side, Fuel Cell missed earnings last night, so they're gapping down. And then GameStop, you kind of have to take this one with a grain of salt. It is on the way down, gapping down 10% this morning, but you know that can flip and flop all over the place. So make sure that's right for you. I'm not going to call it, but I do want to say it meets all the criteria on the downside. All right, let's get back to the show. Mission objectives: grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money. Today, we're going to talk about growing our money within Chinese technology firms. Like I said in the open, I don't know that they're going to go up from here. They may go down. There are certain names that I'm going to hold. Alibaba is one of them. Largely the IQ, JD, you see him down there at the bottom. IQ, Chinese Netflix, if you will. JD, Tencent Holdings has a lot of exposure to a lot of different things out there. I find that attractive over the long term, but I don't know that it's going to go higher anytime soon. So generally, you know, about Luckin Coffee, that saga we're not going to go into. And then, of course, we're going to talk about KWeb, which is how you kind of get it all, right? And generally, in these cases, I think Alibaba is clear best of breed. From a valuation perspective, I'd say JD is probably the most undervalued. But you know, why burn all the brain cells when you can just own KWeb, which again has all of it out there. So we'll take a look at each of those on the FinViz chart. Our question today: what is an ADR? Again, you've probably seen this when you buy your shares, like in Alibaba. You're not buying an actual share of Alibaba. You're buying a depository receipt for shares of the for Alibaba. I just saw Luckin gapping up to 7.57. I'm going to just go to a different screen real quick and pull that up and see what's going on. A lot of time it's such low volume. No, that's legit. It touched 8 o'clock this morning. So Berner, thanks for bringing that up. We're going to come back to that, but high fives across the board, right? So $5.80. It's up. What is that? Almost $2. Gosh, 33%, 35% or so on the day. I'll take a high five. Bam. All right. Back to on point for our flow today. Long, short, open, short, long. Market review. We'll go around the world, talk about how the markets are going. Headline review here in the United States. Then we'll talk about the long-term investments, which that whole line should be up higher one. Short-term trades, which we talked about in the window. I'll hit those again. I just saw somebody pop in. And then contingencies and academic resources are I say they're standard every day, but remember there's on the website. If for the new names in the room, if you ever have any questions, go to the website OTOT now. Surf around for 5 minutes, and you can find either a video or a a one-page explanation of some of the things that we are doing here. All right, with that, let's go over to TD Ameritrade and take a look around the world as far as close out some windows here, because again, I'm on my own laptop here. So all I have is a 13-inch screen to work with. All right, so there you can see Luckin gapping up. So I don't know the headline there. Berner, thanks for bringing that up. I'm pretty happy. You have JD gapping down. We'll get rid of JD and put Alibaba because that's a bigger name out there. 227. I'll show you the long-term chart here in a minute. All right, let's zoom out a little bit and see how we're doing long-term. So again, we had the big sell-off right in the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ in correction. And then, of course, I did the briefing correcting the correction, right? Because I did think it was a buying opportunity. That turned out to be correct. I didn't go crazy with buying during that time, but I did do a bunch of buying. So really, when you look at that dip from 8 days ago, the NASDAQ is back within 4.5% of all-time highs. So what does that mean? It moved up about 6% in the past 7-8 days. So again, that's a nice gain if you're hopping in on things. I bought some KWeb. I don't know if KWeb is up or down since the past 7 days or so, and nor do I care, because when you buy KWeb, you're buying it for the long term. All right, I see a Luckin thing in the chat. I'll get to that here in a second. Let me finish the kind of thought process here on reviewing where the market is. So here's here's the SPY. Again, I zoomed this out from the 5-day to show you we're going straight up for the past 8 days, right? I do think today is an up day, but sometime this week, that's going to have to take a breather, right? So just realize that we're due for that big down day, something like back in here where things reset. and it starts selling off a little bit, and somebody gets excited, right? And then the gloom and doom folks who are largely hanging out in their shame closet for being wrong most of the time, and then they come out of the shame closet because they're right, 10 days a year, and then they re-enter the shame closet, is what I like to say. All right, chat's blowing up. Let's see what we got here. Lug Coffee entered into a restructuring support agreement with holders a majority of its convertible senior notes. Okay, so restructuring some debt, always a good sign there. And then K-Web's Holdings, yep, those are names you've heard of. We don't talk about Metuan. I'm actually not familiar with it. I am familiar with Pinduoduo. Kathy Woods Art Funds just announced a big buy into Pinduoduo yesterday. I've not held that name outright. Baidu is another name I used to hold. Chinese Google, if you will. That's a rough approximation there. But yeah, Tencent and Alibaba, I think, are the way to go. All right, let's go to CNBC.com. Let's check out the futures this morning. Get myself situated here. There we go, and refresh those. All right, NASDAQ was up big earlier. Wait for this to, okay, 0.5% up on the NASDAQ. S&P and Dow are about even. Let's check out Europe. Everything in the green in Europe. Asia, everything in the green in Asia. You see the Fed meeting headline again. The Fed meets every 6 weeks. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday kind of deal. Here's our numbers from yesterday. Nice percent up in the NASDAQ. They start meeting on Tuesday, and then they have an announcement at 2 o'clock Eastern on Wednesdays. Every 6 weeks. And the other third weeks they release the minutes. Okay, there's the 10-year bond that everybody is so excited about. Touched a little above 1.6, that back down below that. I think it chills out. I don't think 2% is anywhere near going to happen. But, hey, that's why we watch it every day. Right? Oil coming down back to that 40 to 60 range. Gold and silver have been kind of on fire. So you see silver selling off a little bit. And then Bitcoin this morning, 55K, down a little bit from where it was. Again, not concerned at all. We did the piece on it yesterday about India banning it. That's going to happen. You're going to have different governments push back. Some will accept it. Others will push back and want to do their own. I will tell you this about doing your own crypto. When Facebook, who, 6 months ago, a year ago, 18 months, it's hard to know exactly when from memory, but they came out and did their own, they said, hey, we're going to come up with our own crypto. It was called the Lira or Libra. I think it's Libra. If Facebook tried and they bail on it because they can't do it, that's a warning that it's not that easy to do. Because if Facebook can't do it, the government probably can't do it. That's my opinion, but that's what I'd hang my hat on that. All right, let's go back to the U.S. headlines. There's Chairman Powell. Fed meeting. This is just a cute headline, March Madness. If the Fed would come out of nowhere and raise rates this week, yeah, all hell would break loose, right? They have no reason to do that. There's no predictions that they're going to do that. So, again, fun with headlines. But if they did it, yeah, it would cause chaos. It really would. It would be March Madness. Okay. Volkswagen, you heard them talk about the Apple car this morning, and I think they're going to produce an indigenous car. I do not think they're going to buy Volkswagen. But then again, the people that are on TV are a lot smarter than me, but I certainly don't think that is going to be the likely scenario. Also in the headlines, I'm looking for it here. So when you win a Mega Millions or you win any of these jackpots, you have a year to claim it. There's somebody who won it a year ago today and has not claimed it. They have till the end of today to claim a Mega Millions $1 million jackpot. Yeah. Oops. Losing that ticket, or, too lazy to get out of bed and go get the money. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, you have a year to claim it, and that comes up today. All right, Bumble's back on, excuse me, they IPO'd about a month ago. They're back on the way up. Roblox was up yesterday as well. I wouldn't buy any more here. I think you could easily see Roblox sell off after a bad earnings report. I don't anticipate that. I have it. I hold it. I'm excited about it for the long term, but there could be a better entry. I wouldn't necessarily pay today's prices for it. Okay, there's your, buried pretty far, right? Alibaba's browser has been deleted from Chinese app stores. So, not that exciting of a headline to be able to, beat all these other things that's going on. but I think it is important for us to acknowledge that that's out there. So let's take a look at the Alibaba chart. So here you go. Here's what we're talking about is, 220 has kind of been the resistance point, even all the way to here to the left, and then here again. Could it touch it? Sure. I don't know. I think here's a pretty good time to buy it. But I wouldn't necessarily buy it outright when you could turn around and buy KWeb, which we're going to take a look at right now. KWeb, not in the chat, which is where I typed it. Switch air. So the China Internet ETF, which is down here, right? So Predator posted earlier, the holdings, those are still in the chat. Not quite as attractive from a valuation perspective, but it's certainly been hit. 105 down to touch below 80. Here at 84, that's fine. I will probably buy some, the extra money that flows in every day. I get 10 to 20K of money flowing into the book every day. Put it to work, probably looking at KWeb today. Did sell some Boeing yesterday. That was kind of weird. I don't think I'd ever hit like sell on Boeing before. Another name we wanted to take a look at, the one I think is the most undervalued, is JD.com. I won't profess to know everything about their business model, but from what I've read, about the same chart as KWeb, but they have just a lot more upside because of course they have that single stock being able to move. All right, let's take a look. Let's share out back to TD Ameritrade for our names that we're going to look at for day trading. There's Luckin holding strong at 780. Again, high fives for all my friends that are in that name. Let's see, Futu is the #1 long. Futu Holdings, let's check their chart real quick. Yep, still looking good. The #1 short is Fuel Cell, so we'll do one of each. Stand by for just a minute, and I'll get ready for the open. Morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time on Target play of the day. You have 3 screens in front of you. You have the S&P 500 SPY chart off to the left. This is a 1-minute chart. Then you have our long for today is Futu Holdings, which is FUTU, gapping up on earnings. And then you have Fuel Cell. All right, and we are off for the day. We're off like as in the horse races are off, not off for the day. All right, 8% on Futu. That's right in our wheelhouse. The Fuel Cell is gapped down a little bit here, and this screen is not, there it is. All right, having trouble figuring out this display. All right, as you say, a double display there for a second. Okay, so Futu's selling off, so there's some profit taking. I like that. It's kind of a tough price point. Market's selling off here a little bit too. All right, so we're going to wait for Futu to establish the low of the day. Then we're going to flip back long. Same thing for Fuel Cell. We're going to wait for it to establish the high of the day, and then we will turn around and take it short. I do not know which one I'll take yet. I haven't decided. I might flip to one of the medical names here too, as well. Velodyne VLDR. They have a new COO. That was celebrated pretty heavily here. All right, Fuel Cell is starting to roll back and go short here. So if we did a 30-cent stop, it's already kind of past that point. So don't like the stop there. We bottomed out at 156. So we could go 158 long with a $1.50. There's 158. Let's take it long here. Taking Futu long at 158. If you got it, I know that was a kind of a fast call there. And it's $1.50 there. It just keeps revisiting it. So, and you're going to go all the way down to $1.50 for your stop. So 156.50, which is all the way down here below the low of the day. So that gives us that protection. If it hits a new low of the day, we're out, we lose, no big deal. But I don't think it's going to do that. So 158 is our entry point. 159.5 is our first R unit. And then up here at 161 would be our second R unit. And then our exit point is going to be 162.5. So this looks nice for the screen. As far as being able to draw it and see everything. And then I'll get an arrow in here, and then we will move on to seeing what else is going on. All right, Fuel Cell did not end up selling off hard. if I get my arrow drawn in time. All right, we're up at the 2-hour point here on Futu Holdings. Again, it's an earnings beat, is why we're invested in it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to lose our top R there, but again, this is our entry point at 158 in case it revisits it, but don't take it here at 160. And we're holding out for 162.50 for our exit point. If you're late to the trade, remember 156 is the lower stop. So if it would come back down and hit that, we would have to be out. All right, let's get rid of fuel cell here and look at some other long names. So BLDR was my number 2 choice for long. Again, new CEO. Not really moving a whole lot. So again, not, it's kind of holding steady from where it is. It's been on fire lately anyway. The two that the medical names are FLGT. Again, it's a new CDC contract for genome sequencing, which I can't pretend to understand, but I don't know if you guys know a good book on genomes and genome sequencing or something. I need to spend probably 6 hours to get smart on that. There's got to be enough there to be able to invest on that long term. All right, pretty big jump there, so it's getting some love. Would have been nice. We're back to our entry point here at Futu Holdings. Conservative, you could kill it if it hits back to 158 because you're even. I don't really like the way the chart's setting up, so let's do that. If it hits 158, let's just get out. So reset your bottom limit from 165, or excuse me, 156.50. Set it up to like 158.05. So this is the new lower bound, and that way with slippage and everything, you're out by your entry point. Or if you got a sloppy entry, figure what your entry point is and just get out at get out of that. So you're not going to lose any money today. So again, I do expect it to hit. I think we'll be out of this trade probably here right now, but at least we'll be even instead of losing money. So again, new lower bound here is at the entry point 158. You could say, hey, why don't you just kill it now? Well, I'm not giving up on the thesis. I'm just controlling my loss, right? So that's what you want to do. Again, minimize your amount you have to lose, but leave your upside, intact. So nothing's changed with the thesis other than it just kind of got ugly for a second. So that's what we've got going on in the trade. FLGT is doing fine. Let's look at the other one, IPA, not an IPA beer like Austin is kind of known for, but IPA, forget what it stands for the company name. They're about even, so they got a new anti-COVID results about something, but obviously it's not moving the stock. Okay, let's take a look at GME, just in case you hopped on the GME train. It was down 10% pre-market. It is actually up now. So again, $205 a share for your GME stock. It's like, really? That makes no sense. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. So if you're in this trade, you need to pull it up on another screen or just leave your stop in, lower stop at 158, upper stop at 162.50, and we'll come back here in a minute. And just like Berner did yesterday, pop into the chat if you see something exciting. So Luckin Coffee up 40%. That is so exciting. I'm texting somebody right now just because I just want them to see this. Okay. Somebody who's into this, kind of heavy with me, as well as some of you might be in the room. All right, let's see. Nothing else. I got Apple calls moving up. That's what those are. DraftKings calls moving up. That means those stocks are up. There's DraftKings up 2.6. Don't see Apple yet, but Clickstream's up. CLXPF is up. Twilio got a buy recommendation. Kathy Wood from ARK Investments moved into that. You see Roblox up there. AV we haven't talked about in a while. Again, they're an UAV maker. Netflix up a couple percent. There's Apple up 1.2 or so, way at the bottom there. KWeb up today. I saw that bouncing around. Bitcoin selling off a little bit. GBTC, let's see, it's probably down below 50 again now. See where we are here. Nope, not quite. Getting close though. So again, I wouldn't buy it above 50. I'd wait. You'll probably get your chance. If you don't, you gotta say you missed it. It's called maturity. But it's bounced off of 50 pre-market. So I'd just keep an eye on it. All right, Delta Airlines. I don't know if I can do the opening trade. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can buy into airlines. They were saying United Airlines and Alaskan are the ones to take a look at. I don't know if I can do it. Palantir selling off a little bit, Boeing down a little bit. Boeing's been so crazy. You heard Kramer talk about it. He loves it. I love it, but I don't know, man. We got to kind of, we're up several 100% for most people, so it's like got to peel off a little bit there. Okay, let's go back and check on our trade, and we're about to wrap up for the day. Get to the right screen here. Hey, look at our trade. So we didn't give up on it. We held tough. We drew the new low, and we'll see if it hits 162.50. Let's just watch it for a second, get ready to exit, and boom, you're out. So I hustled 162.50. So nice check mark for a sweet trade there. It's going up so fast I can't even draw my check mark correctly. So there's a check, and there's the mark. All right, so to recap that trade, we got in at 158 down here. We set our stop below the low of the day, 156.50. It went up for a little while, almost 2 hours, came all the way back down. We moved our lower stop up to 158 after that move. We didn't get knocked out. And then it held that and then went up and hit our 3-hour point. So nice 3-hour trade for the day. Okay. Chat. Let's see what's up. Great call. Love the commentary. You bet. It's what I do. Wish they worked every day. I really do. But they don't. All right, let's go talk about ADRs real quick. I'm getting the low battery warning on the laptop. So in case I disappear. All right, here's your ADR. Basically, what happens is the bank actually goes in and buys the certificate, right? They buy the shares on the foreign exchange and they hold them at a bank. And when you're buying the shares, you're actually buying the receipts of those shares. So it's kind of a derivative, if you will. That's what you're actually holding. It is 1-for-1, even though you could see if BABA's up on the Chinese exchange 8%, your ADR might only be up 7%, right? So it's not a 1-for-1, but it's close enough to where it basically tracks the value of the company. All right, that's all I've got for today. Let me close out now since I'm running low on battery, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow morning. Have a good one.